I'll ask Commissioner Watson if he'll lead us in the invocation.
Father, we thank you for your goodness and your mercy. We thank the Lord God for guiding us through last year and bringing us into this year. We pray that you lead us, Lord God, as we attempt to do the best we can for the citizens of McIntosh County. Bless this county, this state, and this nation. These are all prayers we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call the meeting to order. Roll call. Chairman is out of town today. And the county manager. So we have Sean, deputy manager. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda before us?
Make
A motion for approval from Commissioner McIntosh. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Watson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. In our meeting packet are the minutes from the December 13th work session, the December 14th regular meeting, and the January 5th special called meeting. Do I have a motion to accept those minutes as presented?
Make a motion to accept.
A motion from Commissioner Harrell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Watson. All those in favor? Motion carries. Visitor presentations. We have Judy Dodd, board member with the Boys and Girls Club of McIntosh County here in regards to a request for drug and education prevention funds. Ms. Dodd came last night and spoke at our workshop. We'll let you do a brief synopsis again tonight and we'll move on.
Just briefly, I want to thank the commission because we did receive this same grant monies last year for 2021, and it really was put to great use. It's a 10-week program that we use for drug prevention and awareness and education, and it is called Smart Moves. It is age appropriate, so they have different ages that they teach this in a 10-week course, but then they move as the kids age out of that, they go into a different level of the class. So thank you very much. We had 153 students last year that were impacted by this. We also taught this in the summer program, which we do, the Boys and Girls Club has summer from Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30, every Monday through Friday, all through the summer. Anyway, so thank you. We're now asking for that again. We put in our we'd love to be considered for that $15,000 again for the year 21 and 22. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission for Ms. Dodd at this time?
I don't have a question about it. I just want to make a comment. I strongly encourage those families that have kids that are eligible for the Boys and Girls Club to strongly consider looking into the Boys and Girls Club, and do not let finances be the only reason why you do not. There are means in which your child may be eligible for some form of financial assistance in that regard.
Do you have information on who they can contact if they want to? Do
I
you have information on who they can contact if they'd like to get involved with that?
don't have that here with me today, but it's a Boys and Girls Club here at the McIntosh unit. I'll be happy to get that number for you.
And we could share it.
And they also are now starting a 3- and 4-year-old program called the literacy program that is an after-school program for pre-K and K, which is awesome. We only have 8 kids. We'll take as many as we can get, and it is really a wonderful program.
Thank you, Judy. Next, under visitor presentations, we have Dahl Gale, the McIntosh County Board of Elections, our election superintendent.
Yes, I've come for you with the qualifying fee notice, set the qualifying fees. In the presentation you got, this shows, the second page shows the basic salary. It's 3% of the basic salary is what qualifying fees set out. And by law, we have to advertise this before February 1st, any election coming up this year, which we have the county commission, school board member, state court judge, and state court solicitor that will be on the ballot this year. So,
This is a new business item moving forward. Any questions for Ms. Gale at this time for the commission? Okay, thank you. Having no public hearings and no old business this evening, we'll move straight into new business. First is to consider drug fund grant application from the Boys and Girls Club of McIntosh County in the amount of $15,000. This is an action item. Just to reiterate Ms. Dodd's earlier statement, the grant is from the McIntosh County Drug and Abuse and Treatment and Education Fund. The source of those funds are collected from fines and forfeitures for tickets here in McIntosh County. So that is where the source is coming from. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the application and award the $15,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of McIntosh County.
A motion to accept from Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Watson. All those in favor? Motion carries. 2, moving on, consider resolution 20-22-1 to establish qualifying fees for the 2022 election cycle that Ms. Gale just presented. Do I have a motion to accept said fees?
Make that motion.
A motion from Commissioner Watson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Harrell. All those in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, to consider appointments to the Darien McIntosh County Joint Historic Preservation Commission. I know there was some discussion on this last night at the workshop. Do I have a motion at this time for the appointments?
I make the motion that we table this resolution pending additional applicants.
I have a motion from Commissioner Watson to table said appointments until additional applicants come forward. We did not receive the memo on applicants. Do I have a second for said motion?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner McClellan. All those in favor? Motion carries. Number 4, consider agreement with the Georgia Department of Human Services, Division of Family and Children Services for the Low Income Household Water Assistance Program. There's a great deal of information provided for us in our packet. This is an agreement for low income household water assistance. It is between the State Department of Human Services, who administer and set parameters on a statewide basis to provide public assistance for the disadvantaged, disabled, and elderly residents of the state. It would be between the Human Service Group and the McIntosh Board of Commissioners as a home water supplier to subscribe through, for residents who subscribe through the county's water system. This would be to cover and reduce arrearages, rates, and fees associated with reconnection or prevention of disconnection of services, and rate reduction to assist low-income households with water and wastewater reconnection, and ongoing services for households eligible for low-income assistance through the said program. This is funding sourced through federal dollars, not anything locally. Do I have a motion to accept said agreement?
I want to just ask a couple of questions. So, would we identify people that would be in need of this and let them know that it's available, or would we advertise it and it would be upon them to apply for it?
I believe it would probably be advertised, and they would have to go to this office, and this, that office in Brunswick.
Yes, I spoke with Trish Hamilton, who's over the Coastal Area Action Committee that will be the one that administers this grant locally. How it would work is if there is a water client that is in arrears, they will contact that agency. They will process the application and the paperwork, and if they are approved, they'll just cut a check to McIntosh County for that bill. So it's totally handled by someone outside of the county office.
But we would identify who those people are?
No, they will self-identify.
And they would come into the county annex and fill out the paperwork.
So we will advertise, and it will be my recommendation that we do advertise the services across our website. so that our constituents are aware of this service is available and how to access it.
And say again, what was the beginning, if we approve the agreement, what would be the start date?
This can go, this ends in September, I think, for a year.
Yeah, it indicates in here that it's an annual renewal.
The main thing is that we go to that agency, we just agreeing to receive a check from that agency, not the process of paperwork.
And it works similar to the electric bill that right now they get assistance for the electric bill through that same agency in the same process.
We are only previewing it as a vendor, as a water vendor essentially.
So I'd like to make a motion that we enter into the agreement with the Georgia Department of Human Services, Division of Family and Children's Services for the Logan County Household Water Assistance Program.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. I'll say second by Commissioner Watson. All those in favor? Motion carries. Number 5 is to consider Resolution 2022-2 requesting inclusion in the consideration for all commercial development projects, including casino gambling. This is a resolution on the heels of the announcement from earlier this month by House Speaker David Ralston indicating that lawmakers might put gambling on the ballot for Georgia voters this year to decide. There is a slightly revised version in the packet. Do I have a motion for this resolution?
I make a motion
To accept?
to accept.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Harold. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McClellan. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Before, I was waiting for some discussion on that. I know last night we did talk about what that included. It was explained, I think, by the attorney, what we're entering into and what all it includes. It doesn't change the motion or anything, but I think for the public, maybe if they understand what we're agreeing to be a part of.
I think the most effective way to answer that is to say that the message, and it includes the resolution includes this, the message to be sent is that McIntosh County is open for business. I think there's been a impression before that rural counties aren't as open and ready for business as more developed counties are. And as a result, I think some of the development needs to move towards, especially the kind of development that McIntosh County would be looking for, that would be green, that would be environmentally friendly. That kind of development tends to go other places. I think we saw that when the Turtle Rehab Center went to Jekyll and some other things. And what we're asking is that not only casino gambling, but consider McIntosh County for whatever type of commercial development comes along, and leave it to the county, McIntosh County or whatever county they're suggesting, to turn it down, not to forego a county simply because they're rural or they might not be at the top of the list.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any further discussion on item 5? Moving on to item 6, consider acceptance of Boatyard Way, a 60-foot right-of-way with center surface from Claude Sheen. Discussion last night, just for clarification, this would be addition to a county roadway. The county would be adopting the existing roadway.
And ma'am, just for reference for you all to restate what we said last night, of course, the acceptance would be subject to the completion of the survey establishing that the roadway is actually in the property in the right of way that we're receiving. That can be done easily.
And for clarity, and for my clarity as well as others that might be viewing, why is it in the best interest of the county to assume responsibility for this roadway?
I don't think that anyone ever presents that it's in the best interest to accept any roadway if you don't live on it. But there's a significant residential development on this road. There's also at least two properties that are zoned general commercial now, or soon will be. One's already in operation. A very large boat repair facility is there, boat storage facility. There's going to be, as we understand, another boat storage facility there. I also understand there's a campground attached, although I'm not familiar with that campground. But this roadway is heavily traveled, and I think it would benefit all of those property owners to have this road maintained by the county. It is already paved.
Will the extra traffic include 18-wheelers that will deteriorate this road at a faster rate?
Gosh, I hope not. I talked with Commissioner Harrell about this fact earlier. I hope McIntosh County is able, once we accept it, to regulate that type of transportation that's going up and down these roadways. In the past, I'm told that relatively large dump trucks and that type of thing went up and down these roadways and dumped stuff almost like in a landfill. That's not allowed in the general commercial district, so I would hope that McIntosh County would immediately address it.
Okay. Mr. Harold, do you have any of your constituents concerned about extra traffic?
No, except the log truck.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Do I have a motion for action on item 6?
I make a motion that we accept the Boatyard Way, a 60-foot right-of-way with the paved surface from Claude Sheen.
Motion from Commissioner McClellan, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right, moving on. Item 7, consider resolution 2022-3 to approve the reapportionment plan for McIntosh County. The resolution is in our packets this evening. We were provided with a copy of the finalized draft. Again, from our meeting last week, this is just updated map within census blocks because our census numbers dropped in the county. As a result, the population shows District 1 with 2,742 persons, District 2 with 2,740 persons, District 3 with 2,724, and District 4 with 2,769 for a total count of 10,975. Any questions about the reapportionment plan at this time? Do I have a motion for approval of said plan?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2022-3 to approve the reapportionment plan for McIntosh County.
I have a motion from Commissioner McClellan, and do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Harrell. Any discussion?
I just wanted to ask, I know we had a little bit of discussion when we initially looked at the map, and they just read out the numbers, but you said that this was as close as you could get to evening out, I guess, the districts based on population, and it didn't change a whole lot, but there was one district, remind me, that we had to make sure that we kept a certain number of.
Well, I mean, one of the priorities that we have to keep in mind is that we don't want to put any sitting commissioner out of their district if we can avoid that. We've had several drafts, one of which actually did do that. We had to go back and draw it again. One of the other most important priorities that we have to keep in mind is that we want to keep our one minority majority district intact, and that's District 3, and we're able to do that with these numbers. The last thing that we're trying to do, and probably one of the most important, is that we don't want to split census blocks or voting precincts. So I think this map is as close to even for each district as we could make it. I think on the final numbers it was less than 1% deviation over all 4 of them. If you have any other questions, I'd be glad to address them.
And just to make a general comment, while District 3, the minority district, did indeed lose a number of percentage points. However, I feel confident that Ms. Popple did, whomever else who was assisting, did the best to make sure that everything was as fair as possible. But there is a loss. I would like to make a more general statement, is that McIntosh County fared worse than almost every other county in the state when it came to the census, because we as a county did not complete the census, and therefore our population dropped significantly, and that has a number of negative impact across the board. And I said that to say this, there are a number of opportunities for citizens to participate in government, and I would encourage as many citizens as possible to participate in government, because when we don't, negative things can happen, such as losing a large percentage of our population compared to all other counties in the state. There was only 3 other counties that fared worse than we did percentage-wise. That's it. Thank you.
So moving on to item number 8, under new business, consider application for rezoning of 4.50 acres by Robert Walzak Jr. located on Old Townsend Road in Alonia. This is known as Tract B1, further referred to by map and parcel 00470047. The current zoning classification is R3 residential, and the proposed zoning is CG for general commercial. We did have his agent, Mr. John Bagley, with us last night at the workshop. He is here tonight as well, spoke with us and shared the plans for a future TP lodging site, which would form under the short-term rental guidelines in the commercial zoning. His intention is to build this out in 2 phases, 4 TPs per phase with a bathhouse. There was no opposition at the planning and zoning hearing. There was a recommendation of approval from the planning and zoning. This is an action item for this evening. Do I have a motion?
I make the motion that we accept the rezoning request as stated.
A motion from Commissioner Watson to accept the rezoning. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner McClellan. Any discussion?
Vice Chairman, if you don't mind, I would like for the gentleman to briefly talk about it yesterday. I think it's an exciting thing for McIntosh, and I'd like for more of the citizens to be aware.
Mr. Bagley?
I didn't hear him.
He would like you to discuss it, if you will, this evening.
Yeah,
Just brief summary from last night.
To you or the group or?
To the camera.
We're televised this evening.
I want to take the 4 acres and build what is called a TP village, which will be 8 Native American teepees that will be rented out as a overnight, very short-term lodging. I'll start with 4, and if that works out, we'll go to 8. And it'll be on Old Townsend Road in Townsend. Oh, I had to start it down.
When do you project that you'll be open for business?
I'm sorry?
When do you think you'll be open for business?
By Saturday.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
I got ahead of myself a little bit there. So I have a motion from Commissioner Watson, a second from Commissioner McClellan. All those in favor? Motion carries. Item number 9 under new business, consider application for rezoning of 4.92 acres by BA Enterprise LLC located on Boatyard Way in Sheldon Bluff. This is further referred to as map and parcel number 007100100003. The current zoning classification is R1 and proposed zoning is CG. Just notes from the Planning and Zoning Commission, this is intent to build boat storage on said property. There was a neighboring property owner out of Charlestown Landing subdivision who did voice some concerns at the Planning and Zoning hearing about burning on site and odor that the neighboring residents smell from said burning, which I think we addressed last night as commissioners. We acknowledge that that is a separate matter and does need to be addressed. There was a recommendation to approve this from the Planning and Zoning, and this is an action item for this evening.
I've gotten some more information about that burning thing, and I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to vote against it, but I have some significant concerns about the burning that's happening on that property. Initially, last night, I thought that they were talking about the gentleman was clearing the land and was burning his debris. I've been later informed that he's burning debris from other areas other than his own property. And if that is the case, I do strongly encourage the appropriate authorities to address that. my concern, if you're breaking the rules now, how many more rules are you gonna break later on when you become commercial?
All right, so do we have a motion for action on this item? Okay. Do we want to table said item until the burning debris matter is sorted?
With all due respect, the way it works is that if it's rejected, there's a period of time that you can't bring the application again for. So tonight, it would be appropriate to either accept or reject
Zoning.
the zoning proposal itself. And if it's rejected, I think there's a 6-month waiting period before you can bring the item back to the board.
Do we also have an option of tabling it?
Can I ask this too? I know you're thinking about the answer to that, but as was stated a minute ago, it's a separate issue. There's an issue of zoning that we're here to vote on tonight, but there's also an issue of some burning and things that are taking place on the property that is a code enforcement issue. So I'm just wanting to clarify that when I vote, or when we vote, we're voting on the application that was sent forward for zoning, and that I think we would all like to make sure that the other issue is handled, but I want to separate that we're voting on zoning, and that really doesn't have to do with whether or not currently on the residential property they're doing what they should or should not do.
You're
So
right.
that's back on us. So I just want to make sure for myself, we're still going to handle the burning, but as far as the zoning, they got approval and they said what they're going to do on it, and we're going to hold them to that. That's our job.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I'm
The
just,
county will look into.
I'm thinking out loud there.
Yeah, the violations will be looking into them, but the zoning board did approve
Okay.
this.
I'll make a motion to approve the application for rezoning for the 4.92 acres by BA Enterprise LLC located on Boatyard Way in Shellman, further referred to as the map and parcel number 00710010003.
Okay, we have a motion to accept from Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second? Okay. Let me call for a new motion. Do we have a motion to deny the current zoning classification from R1 to CG on the Boatyard Way in Shellman Bluff?
I make the motion to table it.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Lawson to table item number 9 at this time. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Commissioner Harrell.
As a matter of, ma'am, it's a matter of parliamentary procedure. I think what we need to do is say when that item might come back off the table. Generally, when you table something, it would just stay on the table for the meeting. You know what I'm saying? It would come back up at another time during the meeting. But if we're sending it, just like we did one of the previous issues, if we're sending it to a time certain, I think that would be appropriate. So to say when, I think part of the motion needs to be we table it until.
Okay, I'd like to modify my motion if that's appropriate. I'd like to modify my motion to table it until the February Board of Commissioners meeting.
I think it very much.
Okay. All those in favor of tabling it until the February Board of Commissioners meeting? Okay. All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item 10, consider application for rezoning of 0.17 acres by BA Enterprise LLC located at 1143 Club Street in Shellman Bluff, further referred to as map and parcel 0072C 0091. The current zoning classification is R1 and the proposed zoning is CG. The Planning and zoning notes indicate that the representative indicates that he wanted to use this as a rentable building space for meetings and special functions, possibly converting into a small restaurant later in the future. There was no opposition at planning and zoning hearing. The recommendation to approve came from planning and zoning. Last night, the commissioners with the attorney did review findings as it regards to compliance, specifically traffic and parking, and the size of the corner lot meeting setback requirements. Do I have a motion for action on item 10?
Can I just get clarification? Last night we talked about the size of this property for commercial. So do we have a requirement on the size that the lot has to be in order to, because we talked about last night, once we move forward with this, it would be zoned commercial, but then there's no room for parking, there's no room for this and that and the other. So there's not a limitation on commercial zoning to have a minimum lot size in order to, I mean, that doesn't really make sense to me that you would have a piece of property that's too small to do anything commercial on it, but it could be zoned commercial.
And I share some of those concerns.
The area regulations, the minimum lot size is 2,000 square feet if public water and sewer are provided. Minimum lot width at the building line must be 40 feet if community water and community public water and sewer are provided. Minimum front yard setback from the street is 20 feet. Minimum side yard setback is 10 feet or 20 feet from the street. Minimum rear yard setback is 10 feet. The maximum building height is 45 feet. And the maximum percentage of lot coverage is 75%. So he goes into this knowing what the requirements for the lot are. And his footprint, as I understand it, is relatively small. The minimum lot area is slightly more than 2,000 square feet. It's what, 0.17?
72, yeah,
0.72 acres.
So again, that would come down to, if it were zoned commercial, he would have to adhere to all that, and we would provide guidance through.
The building inspector would go out and he would present his whatever use that he was proposing for the lot. He would present that and he would be told whether or not he could conform to the point where Archie or his office would approve it.
Can someone tell me what's adjacent to that property?
On two sides it's streets, and actually I think it's 3 sides it's streets, and one side, the back of it backs up to a residential area.
What's across the street?
Marina, I think.
Strong Bluff,
It's right there on the bluff. You know where that little marina is with the, it's right down from Hunter's Cafe, right in that general area there.
It's in your packet, it's just hard to see the outline. Of course.
That tell me.
Okay, do I have a motion for item number 10 at this time?
A question for the attorney.
Yes, sir.
If we deny, what's the waiting period for?
6 months.
Okay.
Based on the approval of the zoning committee, I make a motion that we consider the application for rezoning the 0.17 acres by VA Enterprises LLC located at 1143 Club Street in Showing Bluff, further referred to as map and parcel number 0072C0091.
And that's a motion to accept the rezoning.
Yes, from R1 to CG, general commercial.
Okay, do I have a second on Commissioner McClellan's motion?
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Commissioner McClellan to accept, a second from Commissioner Watson. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Discussion?
I'd like to make a comment on both of these, and I want to just make this clarification on my motions and on where I stand with it. I feel like if we have if the zoning board has sent us something that has been approved, I do think it's our responsibility to take a look at it and make an informed decision, you know, and either put our stamp of approval on what they've already approved or not. But I also think that I don't want to hold something up with zoning that the zoning board feels like should be zoned or it can be approved based on something that we perceive that they might do in the future. And I feel like that we need to hold people who are rezoning things for commercial or any other thing in line with our ordinances. So I feel like that, I just want to clarify that. I do have some reservations about the approval of these, but that's not fair to do that based on the zoning that they are clearly in line and have been approved to have. But I do think that we need to, as a county, be, for lack of a better phrase, more on top of what people are doing with their commercial property and if it's affecting those around it. So I just want to clarify that with my discussion and my motions.
I have a question of the attorney. Does it require 3 yes votes?
Any action of the board requires 3 yes votes.
The chairman, no, I guess we need to know your vote also, Vice Chair.
And that's on the application for rezoning on item 10, or did I mess that up on 9 too?
I included you as, when you announced that it passed, I included your vote as in the 3-1 passage.
Okay. On number 9, my stance would be that I'm in favor of the rezoning of Boatyard Way. I'm aware that the burning of debris is a code enforcement type of situation.
With all due respect to the Vice Chair, that was not the motion that was put forward.
Right, so, and so on that one, that completely changes that one and that one, on that one. Okay, on the matter at hand, item 10, on locating at 1143 Club Street, I would be in favor of the rezoning of R1 to CG on that parcel.
And I would like to revisit 9 just for clarity. Because with the statement that Mr. Jordan stated that we need 3 to approve, the attorney has made an assumption. I want to verify whether the assumption was correct or not. That you vote in favor of tabling or vote against tabling.
I'm fine either way. We can, if he has me on the record as tabling, I'm fine with that.
I do.
Okay.
Okay, item number 11 at this time. Consider application for rezoning of lots 37, 38, 39, 40, and 41 of New Inverness subdivision by Darien Storage LLC located at 1087 Blunt Crossing Road Southeast in Darien, further referred to as map and parcel number 0053A 0003. The current zoning classification is CN for neighborhood commercial and the proposed zoning is CG for general commercial. This is, as they stated last night, expanding the current mini storage facility located on the property at 1087 Blunt Crossing. This is to upgrade and expand to allow for climate-controlled storage. There was no opposition present for the planning and zoning hearing. There was a recommendation from planning and zoning to approve said said classification change. This is an action item. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the application for rezoning lots 37, 38, 39, 40, and 41 of New Inverness subdivision by Darien Storage LLC, located at 1087 Blunt Crossing Road Southeast. The current zoning is CN and the proposed is CG. That's my motion.
Okay. A motion to accept the rezoning from Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Watson. All those in favor? Motion carries. Any discussion on item 11 at this time? Okay. Item 12, consider application for rezoning lots 9, 10, 11, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 33 of Hudson Creek subdivision by William and Margaret Wallace. This is located off of Georgia Highway 99 in Meridian, further referred to as map and parcel 0064M0035. The current zoning classification is R1 and the proposed zoning is PUD. This is to provide expansion of additional short-term housing for guests of the multi-use facility on adjacent property at 10071 Georgia Highway 99, known as Hudson Creek Lodge. There was no opposition at the Planning and Zoning meeting. There was a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Board to approve the zoning request. This is an action item. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the application for rezoning lots 9, 10, 11, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 33 of Hudson Creek subdivision.
I have a motion to accept from Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Watson. Any discussion?
Yes, if you don't mind, Sharon, can you explain for viewing audience what is a PUD?
PUD is an abbreviation for Planned Unit Development. This is essentially, it changes the density requirements for housing on a parcel of property.
These are smaller units.
Yes, sir. For short-term rental.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner McClellan, a second by Commissioner Watson. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries.
Can I make a point of clarity just for the audience? A planned unit development is very specific to the property, so it did for this instance. But if it comes again in front of McIntosh County, it will be different. Like it's very specific. It's a very specific plan. Just so the record and everybody will understand.
Can you explain that more? I'm unsure what you're...
So a planned unit development is maybe a unique vision for a piece of land that doesn't quite meet the ordinances, or maybe this vision wasn't thought of when the ordinances were created for a broad spectrum. So a very specific set of ordinances with lot sizes, lot frontages, setbacks, building, construction, amenities, allowable uses, all that is put into a PUD plan. It's like an ordinance for a single family home or R1 or CG, but we make it. And a lot of times we provide extra amenities in order for the county to allow something that's not specifically defined in the ordinances.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else on item number 12? Okay. I do believe that we have a reason for executive session to discuss personnel that applies to EMS. So do I have a motion for executive session at this time?
I'll make a motion to move into executive session.
I have a motion from Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second?
Second.
We do not anticipate action after. Okay, do I have a motion to come out of executive session?
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Watson. Okay, Commissioner reports, and we'll start with Commissioner McClellan. Commissioner Harrell? I have no report myself. Commissioner Watson?
I would encourage those that have some interest in the Historic Preservation Committee to consider putting in application as soon as possible. There'll be a new announcement probably coming out in the newspaper to that effect.
In absence of the chairman, there'll be no chairman's report this evening. The county manager did leave a report for all of us in his packet. Just to briefly summarize it, the Sacalo Fire Station construction of the Sacalo Fire Station was completed in May of 2021 at a total cost of $88,888. Funding for the project was provided from sales tax proceeds for the 2016 SPLOST fund. The completion of the station will help to lower the ISO rating on the island, ultimately saving citizens on their homeowners insurance. the next time the county goes through an ISO inspection. The Visitor Center contract was awarded for the renovation of the old Wendy's building in April of 2021. The original contract amount was for $991,835, and with a couple of change orders, the total contract totaled out at $1,053,957.36. Construction is on schedule and expected to be completed by the end of February. The county website has been launched as of November of 2021. In an effort to be more transparent and accessible to the public, the website is constantly being updated to improve efficiency. Year 1 T-SPLOST projects were awarded in the amount of $2,084,535.89, and the construction has begun on those Year 1 projects to include Steel Bridge Road, Black Road, Canal Street, Jones Road, the reconfiguration of Highway 17 at Smith Road intersection, and the restriping of Fairhope Road. To date, Black Road is complete and Steel Bridge is within a week or two of completion. Funding for these projects consists of T-SPLOST funding, the 2021 LMIG funding, the 2022 LMIG funding, and the 2016 SPLOST funding. All of the year projects will be completed at the end of the spring of 2022. The recreation complex contract was awarded in the amount of $7,813,000 in December of 2021. Land clearing has begun and the complete project is scheduled to be completed within the next 12 months. Water tank renovations included the Alonia and Crescent elevated water towers. They are now been completely renovated and repainted at a total cost of $322,960. This was from the 2016 SPLOST funds for these renovations. The classification and compensation study, the county entered into a contract with Carl Vinson Institute of Government to perform to ensure that McIntosh County's employees' salaries are sufficient and competitive within our region. This study will show us where we stack and up and if salary adjustments are needed. McIntosh County's most valuable assets is employees, and this study will make sure that the employees are properly compensated. This hearing concludes the county manager's report.
I want to ask one question about that study that we had done. Is that going to address what we?
That study will be available, it should be complete in May of this year, and it will address all facets of county government and should include the EMS units at that time.
So it would give us a broad picture of what everything should look like.
It will.
County attorney's report.
The only thing I would have to add is that McIntosh County does anticipate a special call meeting of this board to address a zoning matter and as well, or I say a zoning matter, a building permit matter, and in addition to that, potential action on an EMS issue. We anticipate that meeting will be next week. We'll keep you posted.
If possible, what's his name? No, the building inspector?
Archie Davis.
Yes, can he be present?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We jumped through executive session slightly early. Do you have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We're adjourned.